Welcome to Scream Queens Horror Movie Road Trip Podcast! Hi, Final Girl.
Hey, what's up, Soul Survivor, Mr. Josh?
Oh, you know, just driving down Interstate 35, heading to Dallas with you.
What? I just woke up. I had no idea. Why are we heading there?
We are going on such a weird Atlas Obscura road trip right now.
Thank you, Atlas Obscura, for sure.
We are going to the, what's it called? Like Famous Hands of Baylor.
Yes, the Famous Hands of Baylor. It's from, it's Dr. Adrian Flatt's Hand Collection. Bronze hands of presidents, astronauts, baseball greats, and more.
Wow, I'm so excited. Yes, we're driving 3 hours away to see Bronze Hands. Also, we can talk about Idle Hands with you guys, so we're so excited.
It was this is a movie from our young teen years. This is taking it back to the streets.
That's right, girl. And combine that with like an oddity trip. We love just weird roadside attractions. This museum is in a hospital.
Yes.
So we're going to a hospital to see Bronzed Hands on our weekends off. You know, like it's what we do when we're not at work.
What are you guys doing?
What are you guys doing for your summer vacation?
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. So we're covering the 1999 Rodman Flender flick, Idle Hands.
We were talking about him earlier. For some reason, I keep wanting to call him Roland. So if I say Roland Flender, you know I'm talking about Rodman Flender.
Yeah, not to be confused with all the other Rolands that we know. And
it makes sense. He seems like a Roland. Okay.
You've met him?
No. But
I feel like I know him after seeing this movie.
I listened to a commentary with him once.
Yeah. And now you guys are best friends, and he's meeting us actually in Dallas to go to the Bronze Collection. It's amazing. We're going to take little selfies. You'll see on the Instagrams later.
Yeah, check it out. None of that is accurate, but...
okay, so Idle Hands stars teen beat heartthrob
Devon Sawa. That's if you're fancy. We just like to call him Devon Sawa.
I like to call him D-Saw.
D-Saw. You know, when I hang out with D-Saw, we always go and play some b-ball.
When I hang out with D-Saw,
this is ridiculous.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Devon Sawa, he definitely graced my walls back in 99. He was hottie patati with...
Are you talking about your inner thigh wall?
Yes, my 1999 young teen thigh walls. Yes, Josh.
That's inappropriate. Don't talk about that on the podcast.
You brought it up. Oh, gosh. Okay.
Roll that back.
Roll that
beautiful bean footage. Okay?
All the way back. Bush's baked beans. Roll it back, baby.
Anyways, it also stars a young Jessica Alba.
Sawa. And Alba. Vivica A. Fox.
And she's just a fox.
She is a fox. Seth Green. Eldon Henson.
From Mighty Duck fame.
Yep. Seth Green from
Once a duck, always a duck, okay?
Where he would
V formation.
Get in formation?
I think that's,
is that before Beyonce? Didn't Beyonce steal that from
the Mighty Ducks? Yeah.
Holy shit.
The Mighty Ducks
Emilio Estevez is just standing in the background like, get in formation! Alright, girls! Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway, so Seth Green, who had just, he would have been like, Austin Powers. Yeah, and then he was on Buffy for a little while.
Probably already did Can't Hardly Wait, right? No, is it not Can't Hardly Wait?
I know. Yeah, that's it. You got it with Jennifer Love.
Yeah, Jennifer Love. huge tits.
Oh my gosh! See, I wasn't gonna go there, and you just took the tits and went there.
I would never call her that.
You just called her
that.
I
would never call her that to her face.
There we go. And then also Roach from just bringing in some Wes Craven love, Sean Whalen.
And also from the Ellen Bar Got Milk commercial where he has peanut butter stuck in his mouth.
Too much PB.
That's a classic. Classic commercial.
Yeah, maybe people know what we're talking about with that commercial. It ran forever and ever.
Maybe they don't.
Maybe they don't, and that's okay too. Welcome, anyways, to episode 65. Let's get the fuck into it.
All right, idle hands.
Opening scene, we have like a little appearance from Fred Willard.
The late great. I forgot. Yeah, the late great Fred Willard.
So it's
Willard. I know. I'm like the late great, and then I fuck up his name.
The late great Fred Willard. And Connie Ray is the other actress. So these are some goody icons.
The other actress, Fred Willard.
He went
Maybe
through a
we
change.
shouldn't be so gender specific.
Yeah. Okay, except for that it's Mr. and Mrs. Tobias who are going to bed.
Oh, okay.
These are Anton's parents. We haven't even met Anton yet, but they're bitching about him as they're going to bed. So that's how we know these are Anton's parents. Because Anton is basically your, like, just average lazy stoner teenagers.
And these are, like, your quintessential, like, 90s parents. They're a little on the older side. She's got her, like, long nightgown on. They're getting into bed, bitching about Anton.
They're like, why won't he put up these Halloween decorations? Because it's Halloween time, and they need some help, but he's just too busy being asleep, I guess. He just doesn't know their plight in the moment. And Mr. Tobias hears a sound from downstairs, and so he's like, bitch, I'll go check on it. And
she's like, no, honey. Okay, go do it.
Mm-hmm. And she keeps hearing ruckus downstairs.
Have they found the sign on the...
She keeps hearing ruckus
after
downstairs.
The ruckus.
She keeps hearing some ruckus downstairs.
God, and it's a ruckus.
It's a ruckus, okay? So it's Fred Willard, and he's just ruckusing around with something, and maybe he's dead, but she decides to call the cops, and then she looks up, and it says, it's under your bed in blood.
And she's like, hell no.
Oh, hell no, that's what she said. She picks up the ringer, and then she gets dragged up under the bed, and then blood splurts out, and that's how we start this movie, folks.
It's a really good scene because it really plays with the tension. Like, you are kind of creeped out once you see that message.
Not the ball tension?
Not the ball tension. Okay. That just hurts.
Oh.
But
sorry.
The actual tension, high tension,
the high tension,
hot tension of the movie is, when she's looking under the bed, because there's gonna be something under the bed, so you're waiting for the jump scare essentially. But you also get the just funny Fred Willard and her and their interactions, and them being creeped out. It sets I think it sets the tone nicely for the film. It's not 100% serious, but you're gonna get some good gore gags and maybe some good scares along the way.
Yeah, some good ball tension scares and ball gags, and
you need to get off
gag.
My balls, bitch.
Get off my balls. Okay, so they're dead. In case you guys were wondering, they're dead.
And we haven't met Anton yet, but
we're about to.
We're about to, and we know his parents are dead. We know more than he does.
He's pretty oblivious to all of that. He's running around the house trying to, I guess, feed himself and the dog, and he can't find either of those, so he's just screaming for his parents, we're out of stuff. Things are already looking out of sorts, Anton, it looks like maybe you haven't noticed that they haven't been around for a few days.
He's like, I was too busy at my Teen Beach shoot to notice the milk situation, to do anything about it.
It's all curled
and then I was filming Casper.
That was a few weeks before. Okay, so the point is that he runs out of weed.
And that's a problem.
And that is everybody listening to this, when you run out of weed, it's the end of the world. You call your weed guy, and this is 1999, so Anton's already thinking about weed delivery. in 1999.
Before that was even possible.
He calls up his weed guy. He's like, "Hey, I'm out," and the guy's like, "Okay." He's like, "Yeah, can you just like bring some over? I'm pretty comfortable." Which I love. I love the sense of entitlement that's coming from him.
And he's scratching his balls.
Yeah, he's got itchy balls, so maybe that was another thing. He's like, "I haven't bathed, my balls are itchy, I can't possibly come over right now.
Casper, go clean yourself.
I'm trying to smoke weed to relieve the ball itch pain. I've got some tension."
He needs some powder. So get him some powder.
But they're like,
or some Blue Star ointment.
Blue Star, oh my gosh. He's like a little baby, and he's just like
jock itch, psoriasis.
Just patting his balls with his
Blue
powder,
Star.
and it's
his arm hammer and his
he puts a little diaper on.
He's like, much better.
Oh, I feel so much better. No chafing going on. Okay, so the weed guy's like, no, you need to come over here. That's not how it works. And then we find out where Come Over Here is. It's like 2 doors down.
And he goes over there in his boxers and his gross t-shirt. And I do you think he puts a coat on? That was responsible.
I guess so. It was a little chilly in the October morning air.
He needed that draft though on his balls.
Oh yeah, because of the powder.
Because of the situation.
That itch.
So
that he had to scratch.
You know, he had to air it out.
We also find out that his balls need air, and that his weed guy is like one of his best friends.
Yes.
Penub.
It's Mighty Duck.
Yeah.
Mighty Duck and Seth Green are over there.
Their names are Mick and Penub. It's like nub, but there's a P added, so it's Penub. And when you listen, or like when you watch it with the closed captions, so you get to see that his name is Penub through the whole movie.
Me and Justine are kind of like old people. We like watching movies with the closed captions on for some reason.
You never know when you're going to miss something, especially if there's overlapping dialogue.
It really does help you kind of like stay in tune and touch with the movie.
Or at least like you're getting what you need from it.
You don't really ever dip out.
Yeah, or distracted on a sound that maybe isn't what you're needing to focus on, because the closed captions keep you on the right track.
Yes, but it's just a preference.
It's a preference, and that's how I found out that his name is Nub, but it's Penub. Penub. Okay, so Mick and Penub are his pothead friends, and they live just down like a couple of doors down, but also who lives like next door is this hottie patati Jessica Alba. And that's Anton's crush. Honest goody diapers. Oh, she sent the powder.
She sent the powder and the diapers
to
Devin Sawa.
That's how it all started.
Yep.
Was back in 1999.
When she was like 17, she was on set.
Devin Sawa had
damn girl, my balls itch.
Crazy
itchy
like, balls.
You know what? I have this old family recipe.
It's
really, and she's like, it's really honest
and forthcoming,
and honestly, it works really good.
So let me make you some.
I'll go make that Devin.
And then like cut to 10 years later, she's packaging, and
she's like a billionaire now.
Now, she's like Bill Gates of jock itch, and diapers,
baby butts, and stuff.
Soaps for kids.
Yeah, she really cares about
and like sunscreen.
Being honest with kids.
Yes, I think it's always good to be honest with the kids. So she plays Molly, who is a next door neighbor. Everybody lives on the same street in this world of Pasadena, where everybody.
They filmed in Pasadena, but I think it's supposed to be like just anywhere USA.
Yeah, well, it is any street USA, and because even like the high school seems like it's just down the road.
Oh, it's so quaint, really.
It's super cute. Love it. We're moving there. Our friend we're gonna find is gonna be Penub as well. Okay. So Molly drops a little booklet, and he sees that, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go get that little journal."
It really stirs something inside him. He's very concerned about this journal, and he knows it's his way in with her. He's like, damn, here's my opportunity.
I just gotta go
journal.
get it.
And what's funny is he, in this moment before he's even looked at it, knows what's in it. He's like, oh, it's her journal. She's a really good writer. Mm-hmm. But then later she kind of makes it sound like it was sacred and he shouldn't have known what was in it. Because he mentioned something to her about it, like, I liked your lyrics. And she's like, what? You know what's in it? You know, or whatever, you read it?
I'm going to say right now, not her best performance. She's like, I don't think she knows who her character is. And that's good. She's wishy-washy a lot in her, like, so sometimes her character is real sassy, and other times her character is real whiny, and then also sometimes her character is real domineering and like
earthy and like free spirit.
Yeah, like she's like all over the board.
It's a really and all her line deliveries are bizarre.
Yes.
I'm giving her credit because she was 17. This is her first movie, and she was obviously chosen because she was gorgeous and fit like a type they were looking for.
Yeah.
I don't think it was because of her acting chops.
Or like the director just.
I don't know. Maybe
like,
her audition was really good.
Yeah.
But it's.
Or he was just not focusing on her, like.
Yeah, it's a weird performance, but again, she was 17. So
it's just not my favorite. I mean, we have seen Jessica Alba do amazing performances, and so
like when she gets the shit beat out of her and the killer inside me.
Yeah, like there's
disturbing.
She has a breadth of work, and she is a great actress. So no knock towards her, resume. Just this.
Like, girl,
what is going on? Like, where's the direction?
Yeah.
It's lacking for sure. Okay, so all we've seen of her so far, she drives by on a scooter, and Anton is just, talking with his little weed smoking buddies and sees out the window that she drops the journal. He goes out and gets it, like you said. That's his way in.
Yeah, he's like, bye guys. I'm going to take my boxers and my itchy balls over to Jessica Alba's house.
I can't wait.
Give her journal back.
Well, while he is taking his itchy balls over there, we get to meet Sister Liquor.
Played by the amazing Vivica A. Fox.
Vivica A. Fox. Okay, so Vivica A. Fox is playing Debbie McClure, right? Is that her name? She's kind of like... Let me look. Leclerc, sorry.
She's like an occult hunter, right? Like
we meet her at she's at a jail in Utah.
Dressed as a nun.
She's dressed as a nun because she's going to see one of the inmates that's is in a holding cell, and they've got him because he was skinning people, right? Yeah. And she murdered some people. So she goes to see him, and he's dead, and he has this like shriveled up hand, and she just kind of immediately is like, oh fuck it, and leaves and takes off her little she's in a habit, so she's playing a nun just to go see this person. She gets into her van, and that's when we see, oh, she's actually like not a nun. She is on the hunt for this hand demon spirit.
She was incognito. She was in disguise. She was playing the part, and she's gonna win this game.
And she is putting check marks in our X's on this map of where she thinks the hand has been lurking, or the hand demon.
Yeah, everywhere where there was like evidence of the hand.
And she draws
murders.
Connections on the murders, and it actually makes a literal pentagram.
And she's like, holy shit.
And it's hovering right over the town, the Pasadena, even though they don't name it, that is where it's filmed. It looks a lot like it, but so she's like, oh, I'm headed there. Gets in her van and goes. So that's it. That's what we see of that.
We're like, oh, girl's on a mission.
So Anton now is on his little mission. He is taking the journal.
And all of a sudden there's like thick fog and atmosphere everywhere. It's kind of funny. Like the director, and they're fun choices. I can tell he's doing it for fun. Like there's stuff like this, just random smoke and fog. There's all these weird lighting choices where it's very saturated with greens and reds. And I read that he was inspired by like Suspiria, Argento's lighting, and
the Italian directors of the 60s and the 70s. Oh, Benvenuti. Yeah.
Ciao, Bella.
Oh, Bellini. Let's just start naming them. Bava.
Spaghetti.
Oh, pizza, margarita.
Ravioli.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. We're not racist.
That's stereotyping.
Was that really racist?
No, I don't think it's racist.
I mean, I'm part Italian. So remember my.
You're 23
by 23
and me.
I'm also 1% Asian too.
Yes, that's true. But let's stop talking about you.
Enough about you.
Enough about you. Let's talk more about Anton. So, Anton's going down this alleyway, and there's all this fog, and he gets creeped out. He's hearing some sounds, and then it sounds like people running after him, and he trips and falls, and then he turns over, and the fog fades away, and it's two police officers. Sean Whalen's one of them.
Roach.
And they're like, Anton! And they're giving him a hard time about them giving him a hard time.
And what's weird, like, why are these cops just patrolling on foot this, like, obviously, like, peaceful neighborhood? Like,
I guess because they're... there's
fog.
Been murders and stuff happening in the area.
True. Yeah, we've been hearing about... Yeah. That's one of the things that was discussed in the bed between Anton's parents before they were murdered.
It's like not the neighbors, but the people in the town that had been murdered just 2 days ago. And so there's a killer on the loose. And so that's why the cops are kind of patrolling the area. But they chase him down. They're giving him a hard time. And they are like, oh, remember us? We went to high school with you. You were a freshman and we were seniors. Why some seniors remember a freshman? I don't know. And why they then say, well, were you so cool you wouldn't smoke weed with us?
Or share your diapers because your jock itch.
That's
why they remembered it.
Balls. Yes. Itchy balls, and they wanted to scratch them. That's right. I'm glad you caught that.
Yep. I remember that part.
You're so smart.
Crucial to the plot.
Yes, and you always pick up on those just little small but nuanced and very important and insightful.
I really appreciate that you see me in that.
I appreciate that you appreciate me.
Thanks.
Let's keep going and appreciating each other.
Yes, let's keep appreciating.
So, the police officers are like, I don't know, they're kind of like Tweedledee and Tweedledum-ish.
They stupid.
They're pretty dumb because Anton. Okay, so they want to bust him for something. Like they just want to give him a hard time. They bust him for a baggie that they find in his pocket. That's empty, but smells like weed. And so then he's like, no, I know my rights. You can't like write me up for that. So they're like, oh yeah. And they drop the baggie and they're like, we're going to write you up for littering.
Yeah. And that's a serious crime in some parts of this country.
Yeah.
It's like a felony.
It's a $200 ticket for Anton. He brings it up. So, okay, so Anton, he's got that journal that he has taken to Jessica out Molly and read a little bit of it. So they've had a little back and forth, and she's like flirty McGurty, and
like the second she sees him in his boxers, she wants those itchy balls.
And I'm just kind of like, okay.
She opens the door and she's like, oh hi, I see you all the time.
This is presentable.
You got my book? Thanks so much.
This is okay. It's okay for you to come up here with just like big ass fucking.
She's like, you want to buy later? Or does she pull him in that time?
Dick and balls? No, she just takes the journal. He just gives her a quote from her journal, and
that's right.
Yeah. Okay. So now we get to go. He goes back home. He's making himself a little sandwich. He's making himself the most like teenage boy sandwich I've ever seen, which is white bread, bologna, and mayonnaise.
And there's blood on the knife.
Yes.
So he flavored it with some blood. That's like adding kind
some
of
iron
like,
and.
Well, I was gonna say it's very food forward.
Ooh, a little umami taste, like a meaty on top of that bologna.
A very progressive meal.
Okay.
It's, ahead of its time.
Earthy, yeah. Definitely blood play.
It's going to be at all the best restaurants.
All the best restaurants.
Across the country soon.
So he sees this knife, it's covered in blood, and then all of a sudden, it's like things start making sense to him. I also like that his dog and his cat are in these scenes, and in the scenes going forward. They are like the best dog and cat actors ever.
They're cute.
They're really, really cute. The dog especially, like, will hide with him and just kind of plays to the room.
Oh.
I love it. The dog's dead.
They're dead now, though.
They're dead because it was in 1999, guys.
It's really sad.
So they're dead because this movie's like 21 years old or something. It's crazy. They're dead.
So when you watch the movie, you see the animals, just remember they're dead.
They're way dead, buried.
It's sad.
It's sad. I hate that, like, animals die way earlier than, like, humans do. They just don't live long enough. Because they should. They should get to, like, watch movies and reflect on them 20-something years later and be like, the choices I was making as an actor back then.
That's why you never hear them on these commentaries.
Yeah.
Because they're dead.
They're dead. Because by the time you get to make a commentary, at least a decade's gone by, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So
Anton's back at home now,
he's
right?
back at home. He's seen his bloody knife, and then he starts finding his parents. He finds his eyeball his cat's licking on. His parents are propped up with, like, straw hats made to look like Halloween decorations, and so he realizes someone's killed his parents.
Like,
oh no!
And his friends show up. Here's the other Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yeah, the
Seth
best
Green
buddies,
and Eldon.
Mick and Panub, they show up, and he immediately is like, guys, look, I found my parents, they're dead.
But they're not concerned. They're watching, like, the titty videos on the TV.
Yeah, there is a lot of, like, 1998 music videos playing. Like, Rob Zombie plays at one time.
It's so 90s with the music choices.
Yeah,
a lot of Sublime and Offspring.
Yep.
And Rob Zombie and...
others that I didn't listen to back then, and I'm not listening to now. Okay, so we can't. The three of them are like, "What's happened? Who did this?" And I think it's Mick finds a piece of T-shirt in the hand of Anton's mom.
Oh, and it's the missing part of Anton's ratted up T-shirt.
Yeah, Anton been walking around with a ratted up T-shirt that was torn and had some stains.
We have to interrupt for our ritual. Bye, Oklahoma. See you later.
Bye. We're crossing the Red River, going from Oklahoma to Texas.
Hi, Texas. Take good care of us today.
We love you. We're so happy to be back up in you.
Okay, so anyways, Anton.
So Anton is like, what? This T-shirt belongs to me? Oh no, I'm the killer.
And so his friends are freaked out.
And all of a sudden, his hand starts acting strange.
At first, you're like, oh, he's doing a jazz performance.
One-handed.
He's gonna do like a whole musical medley.
Anything goes.
But then that's not what happened.
No.
Instead,
it's like his hand wakes up or something.
He starts trying to kill his friends.
And he does.
Seth Green gets a bottle to his head.
Mick gets a bottle to his head. Yes, and it's like for the rest of the movie just sticking out of his forehead. And then Panub runs away and runs down in the basement, and he gets chased down there, and they're having a fun back and forth of like, please don't do this to me. And he's like, I'm trying not to.
I don't want to.
He keeps holding his hand back like, I'm so sorry, and it's just going crazy.
He's like, get out of here, get out of here. He keeps telling him like, run, go.
And he tries to. He's running back up the basement stairs, and Anton's hand reaches for like a power saw that the blade, and he just throws it, and it completely decapitates Panub, and his head falls off.
And so he decides to bury his friends in the backyard.
So then Anton like, runs upstairs. He's freaking out. He finds his cat, and he ends up, like, lassoing the tail of his cat, throwing his cat out the window.
I thought that's when he was just sitting there chilling with the cat,
No. Then he runs to find the cat in the bushes, and he, is covered in blood because he's just killed his friends. Molly walks out on the front porch,
right. And she's like,
and that's when she's like, oh my God, you're here in your boxers. Get on up here. Let's start making out on my bed. And his hand's going all crazy and like wants to murder
in blood,
her. Yeah.
All sweaty and gross, but she likes that.
She doesn't seem to notice the blood that's on his face, on his neck, all over his t-shirt.
She's just horny for him.
She's just she's
like, fuck, do you know how many times I've watched Casper?
Like 400 bajillion times. Devin Sawa. And he's like, my name, like he's whispering, my name's Anton right now, Jessica.
She's like, you know how many times I wished I was Christina Ricci, that lucky bitch.
Lucky bitch! And then she slaps him a whole bunch, and it's like, it turns into...
It's really violent.
It goes down a different path than you originally, when you saw the trailer for Idle Hands, you thought this is going to be...
Yeah, because she had a meltdown and ended up trying to kill him, and they had to shut down production for a few weeks because she had to be put in isolation, and it's like he had a reward, and none of that happens.
All because he was in Casper with Christina Ricci.
Okay, so anyway, she tries to like fuck him, but then
her parents
come home, so she's like, damn.
Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to catch you later, shorty. And she lets him out her window. And he then goes back to his house to bury his family and his friends. And that's that, like, fun little lighting, that Argento lighting with the reds and the green.
And he gets them buried, but almost as soon as he gets them buried, they come back from the dead,
right? Mick and Nub come back from the dead. They rise up, and that's actually, like, a fun, scary scene. It reminds me of Zombie. For some reason, like, do you know what I'm talking about? How they like rise up out of that sand pit, like, oh god,
they have the earthworm.
Yes,
I know what you're talking about, girl.
Okay, so like we were listening to we were listening to the commentary, and I guess you can kind of see where he got some influences from and was inspired. Especially in these scenes right here.
Faux show, girl. I 100% agree with you.
Okay. So he's burying his friends and they're rising up. Okay. That's happening. And then cut to a bowling alley.
And it's the same bowling alley from the Big Lebowski guys.
Yes.
Which has since been torn down, just FYI.
I'm sorry. So the bowling alley, Nub's like brother is there, and Nub's brother is named Randy, and he is like out of high school, but he lives at home. He works on his truck all the time. He's a Satanist, according to his brother and friends.
He's got the tribal tattoos.
Yes. He's got like a Jesus tattoo or something, but it's like upside down. I don't know. He is a professed Satanist and loves his Ford truck. And he is at the bowling alley with a couple of friends when they come upon, not even come upon, like Vivica A. Fox's character, Debbie, also decides to go to the bowling alley because she thinks that's where the hand will be. Like, that's, I don't, I'm not sure.
Bowling, it's just, to me, that's the first place I would go. If I was looking for a hand, I'd be like, okay, if a hand was just wandering around, it would go bowling. I mean, it's just where your mind goes
it
first.
Goes. Yes, yeah. Like, if your hand goes to a bowling alley, that's where your mind goes. Okay.
I love how you crack up at your own joke. Because I do too.
It was, okay, it's a strange kind of like tie up in a bow, like a loose plot, like, okay, how do we bring this character and this character together so they can get to Anton?
And almost as soon as they meet, their chemistry is electric.
They want to
I want to see them.
And mind you, we did say that he was recently out of high school. So he's drinking beer, which he's probably 21, or the bowling alley lets him drink underage.
He's probably 21. It probably took him until he was like 19 or 20 to get out of high school.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well, it's just when you're age placing in movies, sometimes, especially in like high school movies where there is drinking going on, you don't know half the time what age these people are.
Like, how is he able to order that
a beer? Yeah. But, okay, so Debbie meets him, and they just hit it off, and he's like, so what brings you to town? And she's like, oh, I'm a druidic priest, and I'm hunting a hand.
And he's like, the second he hears that, he's like, boner!
Okay, so we didn't mention this scene prior, but I'll mention it right now so that you understand why.
For context.
For context. So Randy had just run into Anton in a drive-thru. He was trying to order some food, and Anton wanted to find him because he's a Satanist, and he was like, something's wrong with my hand.
That's right.
Randy will know what's up. And he finds him in the drive-thru, and Randy tells him, like, idle hands make for the devil's play.
Yeah.
So...
That old saying.
And...
That everyone says, because it's old, so it's an old saying.
And that's why when... Debbie mentions, I'm a druidic priest that's hunting a hand. Randy goes, funny thing is, I know this guy named Anton who lives in my neighborhood.
And he said his hand's acting funny.
And he needs a hand job.
He needs a job for his hand, that's right.
So she's like, bitch, you gonna take me there.
He's like, all right, girl, let's go.
So back at Anton's, he's like, oh my gosh, hey, my undead friends that are now my friends. What's going on? Let's go inside and hang out and listen to music really loudly so that the cops end up having to come and try to arrest me. I'm just giving exposition because that's what happens. They just go back to inside the house, they play music too loud, and the cops show up. So now we have the cops at Anton's house.
Here they come, tweedledee-tweedledum, to save the day. You know, they really remind me of like a nod to like the cops in Last House on the Left or something. Just like these two bumbling...
Can't get it right cops.
Can't get it right. They try really hard, but they just cannot get it right.
And so the neighbor has called them, and they're walking around the property, and they're like, this is Anton's house. They look in the window, they see Anton and two obviously dead people. Because Mick is like...
holding his head. Or no,
Nub's holding his head. Yeah, but Mick has got this like bottle that's protruding out of his forehead, and they look dead.
They're just watching TV,
blue
though.
Okay. They got good makeup going. And so they bust the door in, and at first, like, Anton's like, just take me in, cuff me, like, I need to be in a padded room. And accidentally one of the cops shoots Nub in the head because he gets scared because Nub starts talking, and he's like, oh my gosh, it's a
talking head in someone's lap.
So he shoots at it, and then Mick's like, you know what, fuck it, kill him. And Anton doesn't really need much more persuasion. He takes a knitting needle that he was like crocheting.
That his mom was crocheting, remember that we saw in the beginning of the movie?
But he was trying to keep his hands busy, and so he was crocheting, and he sticks it into the guy's like head, and then he takes the taser from the side, from his pistol, like where they carry him on their hip, and he shoots the other cop in the face and fries his face up. It's good. The Sean Whalen character is the one that gets his face fried up.
Yeah. It's like, goodbye, Roach. Guys, I have to say, I'm sorry. As soon as we cut over into Texas, the roads got horrendous.
Really loud.
Yeah. It's like, they're almost like braided. And it's just extra. So sorry. It can't be helped.
It can't be helped. If this is, we're bringing it live, but yet recorded, but it's live. So
only so much soundproofing we can do against the loud ass road.
Okay, Anton decides I need to cut my hand off, guys. This is it. Like, I don't have any other way out. I need to cut my hand off.
So first, I love the product placement of the bagel
slicer.
Yeah, it's a bagel slicer, but they call it the bagel guillotine, and it looks like a guillotine. But I guess it's not good product placement because it does not work for shit. Does not cut his hand off.
And actually, the blade completely bends.
Yeah.
Doesn't even cut him.
Yeah.
And so they then decide, okay, I guess we're going to use like a hand blade.
Yeah, like a hatchet.
Yeah, like but
yeah, it's like for cooking. What do you call those big, like meat cleaver.
There you go. That's it.
Is that
a
big
cleaver.
meat cleaver?
Yeah. And he does. He cuts his. This is just crazy.
Do you have a cleaver at your house?
No.
I don't either. I'm like, who has just like, maybe they eat a lot of meat, cut up a lot of meat.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, because I'm like, well, no, whenever we cut meat, we just get like one of the...
Maybe they're butchering, though. Maybe the dad was a butcher.
Who knows? We didn't get to know them.
So backstory, Anton's dad was a butcher.
That's why he's got that blade saw in the bag. He just like cuts up
That's all animals. You guys at home are like, no, what are you guys talking about? Everybody has a cleaver.
You two are the only ones in the entire world that don't have those. So he does like cut off his hand, and then immediately his friends cauterize the wound with a hot iron.
Oh, yeah, they plug in an iron, heat it up, and just like sear the end of his hand. Which is a good idea, stop the bleeding.
Immediately stop the bleeding, burn his hand up.
But shouldn't they have like maybe poured some alcohol or something on it first? I think they do it after, but maybe the alcohol would make it bled more, right?
Perhaps. Oh yeah, because you're supposed to not. Well, when you drink, if you you're blood thinner, But I will just say for all of the medical expertise that these 3 high school students have,
they do a good job.
They do a good job with first aid. There's hardly any blood loss for somebody who just severed their hand from.
Which is funny because they do at times go for the gore gags, but not in that moment when he chops it off. You're not getting the blood going everywhere.
No.
Like you might like in an Evil Dead or something.
There is so his friends though are like, oh, let us go next door and go get the first aid kit because Anton doesn't have like any Band-Aids or anything. And he's laying there on the floor and he looks over and the hand is gone and it has drawn with the blood, it has written like a little note that was like, bad move, Anton.
It's like shit.
And it's gone and he's looking around for it and he's got a bag covering his hand.
Yeah, it's so gnarly.
And the doorbell rings and it's Molly and she's like, Anton, aren't you supposed to be going to the dance with me? Because during their makeout moment, she was like, take me to the dance. And
he's like, well, sugar tits, I'm going to have to meet you there, girl.
It's so strange. I don't know if like 1 day or 2 days or no days has gone by in this movie.
I think there have been like
maybe
day.
1 day?
Yes, I think it's like maybe set over 2 days. And yeah.
He's just constantly on the go, I guess, because he's murdered people and he's killing people and there's no rest for the weary.
Yeah.
But, so she's standing out there and she's like, Anton, I don't like to wait. I'm in my angel outfit, but I'm acting like a little fucking bitchy devil asshole. Like, open the door.
Bitchy devil asshole.
The bitchy devil asshole. Open the door, damn it. Like, I hate waiting.
You know what's funny? That's actually the name of my asshole is Bitchy Devil. That's so weird.
You named your asshole?
You didn't? You don't?
Is that a thing we're supposed to do? I never. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, Bitchy Angel, no. So, okay, while all of this has been happening, the bowling scene has been happening too, and Debbie has convinced Randy to take her to Anton, and Randy has told his friends to go ahead and go to the dance.
Yeah.
So there's this couple who is leaving to go to the dance, and there's Randy heading to Anton's with Debbie, and now there's Molly and Anton together, and he's trying to find his hand. He gets her to go away. He does find his hand. He puts it in the microwave.
Oh, this is my favorite gore gag because it's so gross. It's like starts popping like pus, but blood, you know, because it's like dehydrating and squirting everywhere. Oh.
It's so fucking gross. This is like, I imagine exactly what happens if someone was in a microwave.
Yes.
That's what it would look like. So the hand is safe in the microwave, and Anton is taking Molly back over to her house and telling her, go to the dance, I will meet you there. I've got to clean up the house. I've been making my costume. I've made it a mess. If my parents come home, they're going to freak out. And Molly's like, that's the lamest excuse I've ever heard. Okay, I'll meet you at the dance.
Yeah. Oh, it's got to be said, too, that Nick, is that his name? Yeah, Nick and Nubs. Mick puts Nubs' head back on with like a big wooden spoon type situation.
Yeah, Mick and Nubs
anchors
show
it back up and they tape it up. They eat some burritos that like slime out of his neck. That's a fun, gross gag.
The hand's in the microwave, and they come back and they want to make these burritos. While they're making the burritos, Mick puts Nubs' head back on.
Yeah.
They open the microwave up, the hand jumps out, escapes, and now it's on the loose. And then Anton comes back, and he's like, holy shit, guys, what? They're eating burritos. He doesn't even care that, like, his friend's head's back on.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he doesn't care because...
They're dead.
The hand is now gone, and where's it going to go?
He's working.
I guess he immediately thinks that the hand is going to go to the high school.
He's like, shit, it knows where all the kids are at.
So now...
It's like, that hand likes to party.
That hand loves to party hardy.
Hardy,
body.
That was really good joke.
Body, body. Noel, I know somebody who has a little hottie body, and it's that couple that's about to die in the parking lot.
I thought you were going to say me. I was like, thanks, girl. Body positivity.
You have a hottie body, too. So now everybody's headed to the high school.
Yeah, you're talking about this random couple, though. One of them is Kelly Monaco from, like, General Hospital.
And by one of them, do you mean there's just two people that are in the car? One's a man, one's a woman, and one shows her titties?
One shows her titties, and it's Kelly Monaco.
And they're both in Kiss costumes.
Costumes and makeup. I don't really get why. I guess they're just Kiss fans. They're like, oh, it'd be funny if she has her titties out and has Kiss makeup on. Which is kind of fun, I guess.
The scene is fun because the hand gets into the car and they're all making out, getting ready to have sex. Her top's off, and then the hand starts like groping her boobies and chokes her, kills her, like breaks her neck, and then smacks his head like all over the car, and his head explodes.
It's like it's a powerful hand.
Yeah.
With just like finger.
You definitely don't want it jerking.
Muscles.
You don't want it jerking it. Like it would explode a penis, and we're gonna see that because the next thing.
Yeah. Kills the principal by ripping his dick off.
The principal was on the phone with like a sex phone operator and was being a dick to her, but then he was
all like horny and mean.
I'm gonna, what does he say? I'm gonna spank you with my ruler. You're being a bad girl, I'm gonna spank you with my ruler. So now there's like 3 people that are dead in a matter of moments before anybody's gotten to the high school. Now everybody's at the high school, and Molly's there with her friend Tanya.
And she's dancing like she's a hippie or something now.
And we've got the band The Offspring up on stage giving us 1999 like we didn't want it. And
playing like the Ramones.
Yeah,
not
doing
really
a bunch of covers.
Yeah, like not really even playing their own music.
And everybody's dancing, and now Anton and Nub and Mick are at the dance, and Tanya's hitting on Nub, and she's like, your costume's amazing.
She's like, wow, you smell really great too. I love the smelling of decomposition.
It's like, it's the best after sex smell I've ever had the privilege of smelling before having sex. Where are we at? Oh, okay, yeah. So the hand's already killed the principal. Now it's about to like wreak havoc on the dance floor.
We get like a Carrie moment where he's like tearing down. Oh wow, something's like trying to bust out windows.
Rocks are just hitting my car. That was so scary.
Maybe it was the hand from Idle Hands throwing shit at us.
That was super pissed at us for talking about the Offspring the way that I did. It's like, that's my favorite fucking band, you bitch.
Fuck you.
Tangina shows up and she's like, you will never get to hear this band ever again! This gym is clear!
So Tangina in the hand. So the hand like does a whole Carrie moment. Just starts killing everybody in the gym.
Yeah, and it even takes the scalp of the Offspring lead singer.
Yes, rips his head.
Rips it off. Like,
that's one of the best moments of the movie.
Yes, I'm like, thank God. Like, I didn't need to hear any more of that fucking bullshit. And Molly and her friend escaped through
the biggest air duct I've ever seen in my life.
Because I'll tell you right now, I went to high school, and the airflow happening in that motherfucker. Well, we didn't have those vents at our school.
We had AC, but those vents look powerful.
Like, those kids were probably freezing in most of their classes. I was sweating my ass off.
Well, they wanted to keep them alert. You know, it's been proven that you perform better and you stay awake and alert in a cooler room.
Oh, that's
so
true,
like,
Professor Soul Survivor. So the hand now is like hiding out in the art room and wreaking havoc simultaneously, it seems, with the air system.
Yeah, he wanted to get a couple crafts in.
It's like,
so he went to the art room.
Having a puppet showdown, smackdown, TKO with Anton, and then it's up in the air conditioning units.
Going after the girls.
Killing the girls. Well, not killing both the girls, but Tanya.
She gets hung.
Yes.
First, they try to go through this air vent. She, I guess you could say, like, stops it up. There's a big fan with blades that could kill them, but it's their only way out. So she stops it up with her shoe, gets it to stop. Molly does, and she jumps through, and she's like, Tanya, jump down, join me, and she gets scared, and she gets hung and pushed down, and then
Tanya, jump down,
jump down, Tanya.
She never says her name like that ever.
Tanya.
Who is this character that she?
Come down, Tanya.
Yeah, Molly gets safely down, but Tanya, not so much.
She gets like hung and then pulled up into the blade. And she gets killed dead.
And then that's kind of like the last that we see of Molly. The hand, we deduce later because she's wrapped around a car. That she's on top of the car.
And then he's gonna squash her up on the ceiling.
I don't understand how the hand gets her on top of a car, then rope wraps her around the car so tightly that she cannot get out of it.
Maybe he roofied her.
And then, how also does it pull her all the way to the shop class?
It's got really strong finger muscles, okay? You know, it's
very dexterous.
It's all devil worship shit. Man.
That's true. So, in the hallways, Anton meets up with Debbie, and she finds out that he doesn't even have his hand anymore. So they go looking around for the hand. Anton and his two friends happen upon the shop class, find Molly. The hand is now inside a puppet. This is where it gets like real like Evil Dead 2.
Yes.
And there's like Anton having to play to the puppet or the hand part, but like he's having to throw it around and act like it's punching him. And then the car jack starts going up. It's gonna squash and crush her up on the ceiling.
And you're just like, oh my. It really reminds me of like those old school cartoons where someone gets like put on a train track, you know, and it's like the train, you know, it's
so
like a
slow.
real, it's like this old school death.
You're just gonna get squashed.
Very gimmicky.
please help me, help me, help me.
Because why not just kill her? Why'd you go do all that?
There's like a pentagram on the ceiling that it's going to like squash her into.
But then they get this idea. They're like, oh, we just got to get it high.
Yeah, let's get the hand really high so the three of them light up this
big ass bong made out of like carburetors and engines.
That they're like, we made it in shop class. Okay, here's where like this end you can tell is a total rewrite, and because it's like tying up loose ends where it didn't create them. You know, it's like, oh, look at all these like bongs and stuff that we created, and we've been in shop class. Like, what? They never talk about that. Like, so there it was. I don't know. It's kind of frustrating because it's a good build up, and then the payoff is not.
Yeah, I would say the last 10 minutes is kind of the most ho-hum part of the movie, because then they get
the hand high.
Yeah, they get the hand high. They save the day. The closest she gets is like her nose touches the ceiling. I also wonder, like, those things don't go that high anyways.
Yeah, like it's just
who makes it where it could go, like the car could get crushed against the ceiling.
And then Debbie finally comes in. She throws this blade that she's been carrying around to kill the hand.
Yeah.
And
after she had like a big scuffle with Anton minutes before, remember, like we
had just mentioned that, and about them being caught, and she finds that he doesn't have the hand anymore.
Oh, that's right. I was just watching the driving.
Okay, I was like, we just covered.
I was watching the driving, watching the road.
Watching the road.
I was floating above myself, watching me drive.
She throws that blade, and it catches the hand, but the hand just like shakes for a second, and then just poof goes up in smoke.
It's gone.
It's just a very underwhelming kind of ending. Like, oh, that's it? Okay. And then after that, what happens is they get Molly down. Molly starts making out with Anton because she's so horny and happy that she's not going to be dead.
She's so horny and happy.
And the two friends continue to get high, and they knock the car jack down, and then Anton gets squished. And cut to...
He's in the
hospital. The other two friends went to heaven, but then they come back, and they're little guardian angels.
And they're like, hey, dude, we're going to be with you forever. Ha, love you.
We'll watch out for you.
We're your guardian angels.
And that's it.
And then it ends with them. They give him like one last little scare. They write the I'm under the bed kind of the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
we did that.
They planted some wording at the top of the hospital ceiling, and so that's it. Like
that's the movie. That hand was idle.
That hand was idle, and now it's
over.
Poof up in smoke.
And we're trying to go down. We're trying to get to Dallas.
Yeah.
To see some bronze hands of some
jobs.
Famous people, and we're going to tell you who the most famous person is. Watch it be like Bo Diddley or like, all old celebrities that no one's heard of anymore.
Well, it did say a president, so I hope at least that,
I bet it's like George W.
Oh, yeah.
Or first.
Some astronauts. So we'll see.
Maybe
we'll get our hands dipped.
Oh my God, do you think we can do our own personal bronzing?
Oh.
We're like, hey, you guys don't have the Scream Queens podcast hands on display?
We'll go ahead and help you out.
Here, let's go do it. Where's the bronzing room?
And for just a small fee,
you can be our sponsor. You gotta pay us.
We'll just leave our little picture right here. All right.
We'll be back soon. I'm sure we won't be in the museum long.
Yeah, it's like
the museum in a hospital.
In a hospital.
It said it's open 24 hours, so we're like, okay.
Oh God.
Pick when we go.
Yeah. All right. We'll be right back.
All right.
Bye guys.
We're back. Woo. We's all hot and sweaty.
It's so hot in the south.
It was so hot in Dallas today.
Down in D-Town.
And they made us do some walking today. We had to get our walk on to see this hands.
We had to walk with our feet to see them hands.
We had to walk with our feet to see this hand exhibit.
Yeah, okay, so we had to go down to the Baylor University Medical Complex, And there was a specific hospital, the George Truett Hospital, that had almost no entrances that we were able to get into.
Well, what had happened is our GPS, of course, took us to the main entrance where you would normally go in. But, of course, it being COVID, all the main entrances were shut. It kept saying, like, find another entrance, basically. So we had to walk around the whole hospital till we finally found an entrance. And then we had to walk through the hospital, find the hand exhibit.
Oh, let's first tell them about the interaction of the check-in process. That was like hilarious.
Earlier when we first checked in, the lady
set the mood.
The lady's like, "Are you guys here visiting anybody?" We're like, "No." Oh no! First we came in and we're like, "Hey, we're looking for the hand exhibit," and she's like, "Are you guys here visiting anybody?" and we're like, "No," and she kind of laughed at us.
Slight judge. Yeah,
like,
she didn't
totally
kind of laugh. She laughed.
She's like, "Well, it must be famous or something." We're like, didn't have the heart to be like, "Yeah, we drove 3 hours to see it."
Yeah, so she checks our temps and we go on our way. She knew exactly where it was too. She gave perfect directions for how to.
And what's funny, once we wound around through the hospital and got there, it's right next to the main entrance we first tried to come in that it wouldn't let us in. So.
And when you see it, you're like, oh, okay, this would be kind of like a nice area to enter the hospital, a welcoming space.
We were able to exit, but before we tell them about the exit, let's tell about the hand exhibit.
And I will, pardon me, I'll say, damn, them some hands.
And it was just like a corner of this hallway in the hospital. But they had, I was kind of impressed by their selection of bronze hands.
Yeah, like 300 hands, over 300 hands, guys. There were hands everywhere.
And it was all famous people. Like, we saw people like Lincoln and Disney and Charles Schultz and Dr. Seuss and even sportsmen like Bart Connors
and Emmett Smith, Larry Hagman from Dallas. Yep. Like it was
Ethel Merman.
Yes, lots of astronauts. Margaret Thatcher. I was like, oh, okay.
Of course, I was checking out their finger sizes, thinking like, oh, is that finger as big as your dick?
See how long getting that girth around, like them fingers wrapping around. Oh, that's so nasty. That's so nasty.
All I'm going to say is Lyndon B. Johnson could put those fingers
that's right.
wherever he wanted. LBJ
all the way. Yeah, there were tons of presidents. Every president up until Bush 2.
And the thing I'm curious about, because it didn't really explain or have a plaque that said anything, was how they got all these hands.
Yeah.
Like,
how do you get them hands?
Went back as far as
Lincoln.
So obviously that was probably more of like a find, like something they found and put in the collection.
But they did have a section where they showed how they made them.
Yeah. And I guess a lot of the ones that are in the museum were made specifically for the little museum or the whatever you call it. It's not even the collection.
Yeah, it is a collection. Yeah, they weren't trying to tout it as a museum. I found it on Atlas Obscura, which is awesome. So
if you guys haven't ever checked out atlasobscura.com or any of their books, do it. It tells you about all kinds of weird little places and roadside attractions.
Yeah, little oddities. It's
weird
fun.
things you gotta see.
Things you'll always remember.
Comes in handy for this podcast.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so after
But let me just say, guys, don't drive 3 hours for this. If you like weird shit like this and you happen to be in Dallas, go see it. It's kind of funny and
it's
weird.
Unique, yeah.
And unique, but don't go out of your way.
No, not at all.
And or if you're like a Disney purist, it's like, I've got to see Disney's hands. Okay, whatever.
His bronze casted hands, they must be mine.
Or something along those lines, but yeah.
Yeah. So, but we got to exit out the most convenient exit to our car.
Right. It was like we said, the entrance we tried to come in originally is where we were allowed to exit. And also today we were down. The hospital was in Deep Ellum, which is a really cool collection of shops and eateries.
Yes, and restaurants,
bars, and hookers,
and there's titties and There's not titties
There's
or
not.
hookers. Okay.
We're stretching
We're just,
it now.
yeah. Okay, but we did go down there and had ourselves a nice old time at Postino's Wine Cafe.
What's funny is we were so hot and sweaty from walking around so much. And then we ended up in like the bougiest little place today.
Yeah,
it was the Postino Wine Bar or something. But they had a lot of food. They had an actual food menu as well.
So we got like some cheese boards, but they were put on toast and had like meats and spreads and fruits and jams and
it was delicious. And we got some tuna
tartar. Yeah, we did try tuna tartar.
Yeah, I never had tuna tartar before. I've had steak tartar.
Oh, you had a little steak tartar, Barbara.
Sometimes we like to pretend like we're fancy, you know. Mm-hmm. So we'll like get the fancy foods we've never eaten before.
Yeah, we had the steak tartar in Disney at Le Cellier Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, that was good. Oh, and when we what was the drink we were having?
Oh, it was the Aperol Spritz. We had a couple of those, and they were delicious.
Good. Yeah.
And then we went to a little plant shop, and then we went and got some beignets. So it wasn't just, we didn't just drive 3 hours to see some bronze hands. We made sure to kind of make a day out of it. Went to a cool area in Dallas, like we said, the Deep Ellum, which is a long street of shops and coolness.
And bits and tits and shits. And
so it was a good day. Right. And that's what brought us along on this journey to talk about Idle Hands.
To talk about
the acting stylings of Jessica Alba.
Okay, yeah, let's jump into it. We need to just talk about our favorite scenes.
You go, ma'am.
Oh, you may go? Okay.
You go.
Okay, I'll go. I mean, it's a fun little spot, and I guess it's probably, to me, one of the biggest, like, chase scenes when they are all kind of in that HVAC, like, unit.
And they've run away.
They've climbed through the venting system. Yeah, so the Hand's already, like, taken out the singer of The Offspring and run amok and killed some people, and we've got Jessica Alba climbing in there with her friend, and then just the genius of her putting the little shoe there so that they could get through the fan, stopping because those blades were gonna like dice them up. But it just felt like a little suspenseful and like, girl, like, quit screaming, jump down there right now. Jessica Alba is telling you to jump, girl, jump.
Yeah, it's a moment of true suspense. And you almost kind of see it coming because you know it's a horror comedy, so you're kind of wanting that splat stick moment.
Yeah, it's like if she doesn't.
It for you. It says, here, watch this girl get eat up by a fan.
It does very much say that. But the Hand runs amok, so I like it. It's fun. What about your favorite
I like
song?
kind of, was it like in the first quarter of the movie or so when he kills his friends? That's kind of when I feel like shit really gets started. It's kind of when Anton kills his buddies and then turns them into the living dead, basically. Buries them, they come back alive. But I like kind of the chasing around the house.
Yes.
You know, when
how he decapitates Neb.
Yeah, and then but first he kills Seth Green and is running around chasing the other guy and up and down the stairs. So you get, you know me, I love a good chase scene. So you get that element. You get some good gore. You get the head rolling off.
Yes, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's very kind of like in the vein of Evil Dead humor, where they're running around and there is killing happening, but there's also some jokes and I agree.
And this would be like the mainstream teen bot version of, like, you know, an Evil Dead, because that's the one thing that you can say about Evil Dead. It goes there a little more. But this one, I mean, it's an R-rated teen movie. You get decapitations and people getting, like I said, tore up in a fan, and you see the blood going. It has its moments.
It earns its R rating in those, and then also titties. Titties.
Brief look at some.
Yeah.
Some titties.
That's what they wanted. Producers were like, hey, let's get them titties on there. We're going for the R rating.
And they're like, and you know what? What the teens really want these days is titties with kiss makeup.
Because that just brings all the boys to
Nothing screams 1999.
Like kiss makeup.
Like kiss and titties.
Kiss and titties. Damn, kissing titties.
And I guess that brings us along to our knife ratings.
Our knife ratings. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. It's not the greatest, but it's funny in moments, and it hasn't aged that well, I will say. It's problematic in a lot of its
like
talk and
weird misplaced like machismo.
Yeah,
because one, I'm like, these guys are dorks, so I'm like, who are they like throwing the fag word around?
That's
stuff,
not
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no way.
Like you guys, like. Yeah, maybe they're up for commenting. Maybe that's
and
the point.
saying the R word.
You know, shit
and
rolls downhill. Maybe they get picked on, so they're picking on people. So, the R word. They're just. It's aged in that way for sure.
It's like coming from a time where
a little cringy.
Yeah, dudes were trying to be alpha male about their talk, and it didn't fly, guys.
It's ugly.
It's ugly speak.
You're ugly.
So. Having said that it doesn't age well, I guess I'm gonna give it 2 knives.
Yeah, I'm going 2.5. I'm a little bit more in the middle. It still has a lot of fun moments. There is some atrocious acting by Jessica Alba.
Oh yeah, I didn't even mention that. Yeah.
She was obviously cast for other reasons.
Yes.
But there is a lot of fun. It has, for the most part, a good spirit to it. There's a lot of homages to other horror movies, and it's very colorful. I miss that in movies these days.
Yeah.
Color. I hate how everything is color graded to be like gray and blue and black and black and white and dark, maybe sepia tone. Just everything is. Nothing looks realistic anymore. It's just very either just desaturated colors with.
Always trying to set a mood.
Really trying to be like really grainy and just only setting the atmosphere and the camera and not with maybe the storytelling.
Right, yes.
And other,
and
costuming and everything else that goes along.
Yeah, I will say that the makeup and special effects are pretty cool, especially like the friends walking around with their, Seth Green and his bottle that's protruding out of the head, and so the makeup is really good, and the hand when it's detached after Anton's cut the hand off and all that, like I like all of the special effects for the hand and how they make the hand look decayed and after it's been in the microwave.
Yeah, that's a great shot too. That's nasty.
It's like just like popping and spraying out, like just spitting it out, basically blood, just pss, 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 as it's like getting just microwaved up and just splurting.
Hydrated and all.
Ugh. Okay, so
2.5, 2 and 2.5.
2.5. There you go, guys. Episode 65, Idle Hands. They're, check it out if you wanna. It's worth a view, but go into it knowing what we've made.
And it's one of those, I bet if you liked a lot when you were younger, you're probably still gonna like. Honestly, this wasn't one of my favorites from the late 90s. I was more into more of like a slasher. I love like The Faculty and Scream, of course, and Urban Legend. Those are kind of more of what I'm nostalgic for when it comes to 90s horror. This I did like back in the day, but it wasn't like a constant rental for me. I did like more like just pure horror in a way than.
Stop calling me that
comedy.
on here.
Or do I need to enunciate horror like horror? Like some
horror.
people do? Horror, where it's almost like an A.
Horror.
A horror movie. We're from Oklahoma. We say horror.
You know what our next horror movie is that we're gonna cover, Josh?
The next horror movie
that we're gonna cover
is Jaws 3. We're taking it back to Ocean City, Maryland, y'all.
Yeah, we're getting 3D. That means dick, guys.
3D. 3 dicks. Wow. If only.
If only. Episode 66. Jaws 3 dicks.
And then we're also going to go for a little hiking adventure in the Shenandoah National Park.
Yeah, for
episode 67.
6-7.
And we're going to cover the forest.
Fucking forest.
So that's what you can expect this summer. We're giving you a beach in a mountain episode. Because, you know, everyone loves going to the beach or the mountains in the summer.
I love the beaches so much.
The beach and the forest. So
I love the mountains.
Oh, wow.
Ah!
Alice Ripley just jumped in the car.
I just came here to say hello.
And tell us that you were next to normal.
I am next to normal. I've been next to normal.
So, hey guys, get on.
Get on.
Pick up your phone.
The Instagrams.
Go.
The Twitter.
Oh, she's just going to keep talking over me.
Mm-hmm.
Pick up your phone.
Is there another platform to mention?
What I need to tell you is to go rate and review us. So what I was going to say is pick up your phone, go to iTunes or wherever you listen to us, scroll down to where you give us that 5-star, and then type a little something nice about us.
Type a little something nasty, but like nice nasty. Like these little nasty hoes are amazed.
Yes, we would love that.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Do that. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Faceplace. All the places.
LinkedIn. What are other
OnlyFans.
Yes.
We're on all the things.
Ashley Madison. Okay. All right. Love you guys. Peace.